Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. Right, we've been away from the YouTubes, but we're going to get back on them. I'm bouncing because it's freezing. But today we're going to do a strength speed session. Myself and Gassy is going to be on this session. We like to practice what we preach. So it's the new block that we're in at the moment that our members are doing. It's basically moving heavy loads fast. Upper body session today. We'll walk and talk you through it, but we will do it ourselves for real as well. So come in and take a look what we get up to. Okay, we're going to warm up. We always warm up, and what we do is we actually program warm-ups all the time. I actually was with a friend the other day who was an ex-rugby player. We walked into the gym and he just walked straight into the 45s, and I was like, what are you doing? You have to warm up your shoulders. So we got some prone swimmers, press up plus, and half kneeled banded face pulls. We'll do that, a couple of rounds round, and then our shoulders are ready to go for some heavy lifting. Okay, it's really important that when you're doing your warm-ups, we follow a ramp principle. So that means raise, activate, mobilize, and potentiate. So it's a really easy thing to do. It'll take you a couple of minutes, but it will give you a really well-rounded warm-up, which is exactly what we want. So raise is going to be to raise your core temperature muscles. So you want to jump on maybe a bike for 3 minutes if you're doing lowers, jump on the skis, get the shoulders going for a minute or two. Something that's going to raise that core temperature is going to be a really good idea. You don't want to stretch a cold muscle. Then we're going to go into the activation side, which is pretty much what Warb's doing now. So we're going to activate the muscles. This will be sort of key muscles that are going to be used in the session. So for example now, Warbs is currently activating his rear delts, and then some of the other exercises that we have then will activate the different parts of the shoulders and the upper body that we need for lifting. We then go into mobilize, so then that's going to be stretching. Everything's going to be nice and warm, so then we're going to stretch through the muscles and really open up for a range of motion, which is exactly what we want. And then we go to potentiate. So potentiate would just mean almost kind of working up on your warm-up sets to the exercise that we're going to do. So for example, we've got uppers today, we'll be going into bench. Potentiate would be just to warm up on the bench press efficiently to get up to that working weight. We have quite a big posterior focus when warming up, so swimmers are one of my favourite ones. You get some external rotation in there because you have to hold your arms in this position. So your arms want to go down with gravity, but by holding them up isometrically, you're getting a good external rotation in there. And stretching out overhead, then we're activating our mid and lower traps, which is a really good sort of posterior from the shoulders, waking up that part of our shoulders, because everybody focuses on the pressing movements. I think a lot of people's upper backs are quite underdeveloped. So by doing swimmers, where we push out in front and keep those elbows high, I got quite limited mobility in my shoulders, so I've got to work really hard on this. That's one good one. Then we do face pulls, very similar exercise, but again, focusing on that trap, rear delt activation, and then press up plus. It might not feel like you're doing much on this. You want to keep your elbows perfectly locked. If you bend your elbows, you're going to activate some tricep. It's not about that. It's about making sure our shoulder blades are moving really nicely before pressing movements. So by keeping your elbows locked out and doing a press up plus with long arms, try and squeeze your shoulder blades together. As you've got a pencil, you want to try and pinch with your shoulder blades, and you want to press out as much as you can, separate your shoulder blades. If you do that for a few sets, you'll notice then on your first set of bench press, your shoulders will feel much better, the scapulars are moving nicely, and it'll be a much more comfortable pressing movement.
Oh, I always forget how hard these are.
Oh mate, big time. If you really stretch overhead, like as far as you can, which I struggle with, that's when it really challenges your traps, do you know what I mean? So people just pulse out half reps, it's quite easy, but if you actually like try and make them meet at the top, so they touch the plates at the top, my goodness, it makes it harder.
What you just touched then?
Yeah.
Was right where it was screaming.
So Gassy, is this the potentiation stuff that you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, so this is going to be more towards that power side of things. We still want a bit of a power stimulus. We're moving on from our speed strength block, so we still want to keep some high velocity stuff in there. The banded plyos are great because it's going to allow you to produce more velocity than you can with your normal body weight. If you just did normal sort of plyo push-ups, you wouldn't be able to replicate the kind of velocity that you can with a band. So this really allows you to contract as fast as you can, which is obviously great for that adaptation for power. We're supersetting that with then a med ball slam. Again, we've used this millions of times. Go light on the med ball slams. We're looking for max velocity and power, as opposed to ripping like a 12 kilo ball. We want that to be like a 4 to 6 kilo ball and getting used to contract nice and fast. Just to answer Wolf's question there about potentiation, Yes, this will fire up the nervous system quite nicely, but really that potentiation is going to be us building up to our working sets on the bench press. So I'm working at 80% today for the clusters. That'll put me around the mark of about 110 kilos for the sets. So I'm going to have a few warm-up sets from probably about 60 to 110 to get myself firing up nicely.
Regular listeners would have heard us say this, but like these movements, if you're kind of just doing them 50% effort, you're not going to get really any like reasonable stimulus from that. When you do this, it has to be maximum effort, because you want to make sure that it's like at max velocity, like maximum speed as possible, and then you're going to get the power adaptation that you want. If you do it half-assed, it's literally going to serve itself as just a little bit of a blood flow warm-up, but we want to get power out of it. So if you're doing it, we don't want this. We want it to be, try and get as high up as you can, and you're going to get that stimulus that you want. Similarly with the med ball slams, too many times. I love the effort that people are actually in the gym and doing it, but that's not developing power whatsoever. You're just dropping some shopping. You've got to make sure that it's, I want to try and split that ball if I can, and you're going to get that power stimulus that we want. There are some weeks you might feel quite weak and the session doesn't feel great, does it? And there's some weeks that you like, we might prescribe a certain weight and rep range and you can kill it. Like that happens, like it fluctuates. You're never on this like linear line just going up. Like there's, you know, stress, sleep, hydration. We've all got things going on in our personal lives. There's going to be some sessions you're not going to be like optimal to train. That's okay. Just like get through it. Drop your weight if you have to, but it's better to get something done than nothing. So just accept that some sessions you feel great, some sessions you won't, but over the long term, the line of best fit will go up. So just expect that and don't be spooked if you're not feeling too good one session.
He's ready.
Right,
team up.
Gassy, clusters, talk us through it. What we're doing, this is new to this block now, isn't it? So why are we doing clusters and what are they?
Yeah, so we're off the back of our speed strength block. So we've been moving moderate weights with really good intent. But now as we start to progress through, we're kind of moving back up that force velocity curve. We're starting to increase the load, and what we really want to do, clusters are great for accumulating more volume at loads that you probably wouldn't normally be able to do for them. So it's a really good way of developing strength ahead of our max strength block next month. So this is going to lay some really good foundations. It's all periodized, so I think we're starting off week 1 here with 3 by 3 by 3 with 20 seconds rest in between. And 80%, and then that just progresses then. So it goes like 3, 3, 3, and then it goes 2, 2, 2, and then 1, 1, 1. So you can see how that's going to start to build up, getting you some more volume at those really top end percentages. Another really good thing about cluster sets is they allow you to have a faster bar speed. Because you're not accumulating too much volume and you're having intra-set rests, you can get each set with a little bit more intense. So it's really good for improving bar speed and still getting those really good adaptations that come with an increased bar speed.
I didn't want to sort of jinx it, but I'm feeling strong today. I think it's the gas effect. Just training with the main man.
Probably my 13 pancakes for pancake day last night.
I just feel this for a couple now. And then we'll probably go into, so you're 110 working set and you?
Yeah, I feel good.
Oh, here we go.
I might max out.
Oh, like a hot knife through butter, that one. There we go, that'll just do. Because it's a warm-up set, you don't want to kind of fatigue yourself. Just feel the weight, activate the muscle. Don't need to be doing sets of 10s on warm-ups, you know, it's just slowly move up, feel that weight. 2 working sets for me then to go into a cluster will be absolutely fine with all the shoulder prep that we've done pre-sesh as well. Yeah. Right, so 110 for 3, 20 seconds rest, 3, 20 seconds rest, 3. Wowza.
Yeah.
Fuck, see 9 sets on 110, it's good. Be strict on your rest, guys, as well. If it feels good, don't shorten it, because it will catch up on you. What would you recommend to someone, Gass, who's struggling on, say you get to their third or the second or third cluster set, and they can't hold on to 3? Do they hold on to the reps and drop the weight, or do they keep the weight and just drop the reps?
I'd personally go for keeping the weight, because we want to try and get some more volume. Otherwise, you may as well just like three or 4 sets of like 6. So I'd rather...
So like a 3-2-1 you'd rather than a 3-3-3 on a lighter weight.
Yeah. I'd rather keep the weight and just get more volume at this weight. That's going to drive some adaptation. Within reason, like if you're just kind of shaking around like this, it's probably not doing anything, but if you can still keep some good movement quality over a rep or two, that's great. That's still going to be more volume than you would have been able to do with the load. Yeah, I think that's...
And even like, you know, in between sets, not the small bits of rest, the larger rest, just take that 1 extra minute and that might help you squeeze that extra 1 or 2 reps. Like it might get you to a 8 rep total set rather than a 7. So just take that extra 1 minute in the grand scheme of things. It's not, it's not, don't rush your rest, like, you know, 3-4 minutes is
We just
cool.
give guidance on the rest. We just say around the kind of 2 to 3 minutes, but like take the rest that you need. Like, and you'll see as well, people that are more accustomed to training, the likelihood is they'll need more rest. So for example, me and Warb, say for example, if we were working top end now, we'd need more rest because the likelihood is we can exert more. So it can take us a little bit longer to recover from those max efforts. But yeah, rest is a gauge. 2 to 3 minutes is okay, but if you need 3 to 4, that's absolutely fine as well.
You know, it's like a volume thing. I was playing around on the other day with just like 10 reps, and I was on like 100 kilo for 10 reps. But then like here, so say I did 3 sets of 10 reps on 100 kilo. Here I'm doing 3 sets of 9 reps, basically on 110.
Literally.
So that's like a good example of our cluster. Yeah, granted it takes you probably an extra 6 minutes overall, because you've got more rest and stuff, but that's how you can see there, that's a very quick, easy example of how you can add significant amount of volume. But that's why with clusters, you probably, why don't you do them all the time? You can't do it all the time, it's too taxing. So like after this 4-week block then, you need to come back off it a bit. Otherwise you just keep hammering yourself into like a debt of fatigue you can't come back out of. So it's nice to spike you for a bit, but you can't just be on it forever. It's nice to pepper it throughout the program like you've done for us, isn't it?
Literally, that's pretty much a perfect description there. So we have this now for a pretty intensive 4-week block. We'll then have a deload to actually allow the body to recover from the stimulus, and then we'll be going into our max strength block from there then. So you have that kind of week, not off, but doing some lighter stuff to allow that adaptation to take place, because it is, you know, it does accumulate some good fatigue. So next up, we've got our kind of next strength exercise. We've got our posterior strength exercise. We've got a rack bent over row. The reason we're using the rack is because we want the stimulus to be strength in the back. So we really want to connect with that sort of mid-upper back musculature. When you're doing a normal bent over row and you're in this position, your lower back is always going to be the limiting factor there because you're always in this hinge pattern. The rack allows you to reset and pull aggressively from there, which means you're going to get a lot more quality out of the movement, and the failing muscle will hopefully be the back muscles that we're trying to work. Just because the spotter arms are there does not mean it's just like drop the eccentric. We still want to control it. They're just there to give you a slight pause and reset at the bottom. So like beforehand, we'll do an Anderson squat. Yes, that one we're kind of dropping quick into it. We're focusing on the concentric. This, we still want that quality. We still want time under tension. This just gives us a little rest at the bottom.
Oh, love that. It feels a little bit lower backy, but not like...
But it's not like your limiting factor.
Yeah, 100%. Like it feels like a good
like
full back. Yeah, it's engaged, but I'm not like, oh my God, this is... I have to put it down with my lower back.
Yeah.
And also as well, like you want... I do say this sometimes, like I like to swap it for an exercise like a prone pull where there's no lower back. If I had like 3 back pulls in a set, if I had 3 pull-in movements in a session, I wouldn't have all 3 including lower back, but 1 is fine. And then the other 2 could be like a chest supported or a chin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it's good to get some low back stimulus because we don't want to be like weak in our low back. Do you know what I mean? So that means you'll get a bit of low back stimulus here. We'll get on a lowers day as well when we do a squat or whatever. So you're getting lower back stimulus importantly twice a week as well. Do you know what I mean? We don't want to just not train the lower back.
I think this bent over row position as well, like, is a really good position to be strong in. I think if you're in contact sports or you're in game sports, being able to be strong in this hinged position is going to be good. We don't want to be weak there because that's probably where injuries are going to come from.
Weak things break, as you said. So like some people who have bad low backs, the first thing you'll ask them is, oh, you know this, Gass, we talk this quite a lot. How often do you train your lower back? It feels counterintuitive, you've got a lower back, you should stay off it. It's probably sore because it's weak and it's overcompensating for that weakness. So with a sensible load, it's actually good to train your lower back deliberately, not overtrain it, but just give it some stimulus so you can actually strengthen up your erector muscles here, either side of your spine. So we want this to be rock solid. Gassy's there are rock hard, like good lower back then. That's what you need to have real good strength.
Oh, it's a lovely weight, that is.
Yeah, it's nice, that's nice, yeah.
And then this one is going to be kind of our main pulling strength exercise for this block. So this is going to be a really good one. The reps are going to start coming down. This week we're on sets of 8. And this is going to come all the way down. So we're going to really chase some good strength progressions on this. I've got to stop talking after a set. I feel cross-eyed. Another common thing we use in the app is an AMRAP, which stands for as many reps or as many rounds as possible in a given time. Next up, we got a little bit of hypertrophy. So we're just chasing some hypertrophy in the areas that we want hypertrophy. So obviously the shoulders, it's probably a good idea to have some kind of muscle mass around that. Bit of overhead pressing here. We've got 12 reps. We're going for the military press. Main thing here, as you can see with Warbs, he's got a nice stance there, so he's nice and strong. His core, if I was to punch him in the stomach now, it'd probably hurt my hand more than it's going to hurt him. He's all braced in, which is going to keep him in a really strong position and keep that spine in a nice neutral and strong place. When we're pressing above head, all I want you to do is go up, and we're just going to drop that head through at the top, just to engage the upper back, and then come back down. So a really nice exercise there. We're just chasing a little bit of volume on it, just to get some extra reps in.
Is a certain grip, are you happy for people to pick a grip?
Happy to go on whatever grip you want. The reason we're using the band is because it's just going to allow us to push past that sort of normal stage of failure. And what I really like to do when I'm using the band is actually focus on almost pulling more of my chest up towards the bar as opposed to my chin to really get a good bit of lat engagement. So yeah, try and aim for about bottom of the chest to the bar. It'll light your back up. Obviously give you a few more reps out as well. So,
I'm going wide grip lately, I'm going for the lat gains.
I'm going for the wings. So hopefully really with this exercise, we're looking at trying to push maybe past that 8 to 10 rep mark. So we're really trying to drive that again through a nice high rep range.
Purchase your tracks today.
Military press annoys me a little bit. My shoulders, I've got dodgy shoulders. So rather than do a seated shoulder press, I still want to get the stimulus that you get from standing. I can sort of manipulate into a neutral grip using dumbbells. So I'm just going to do the same thing, because barbell annoys me, I just do dumbbells. Just a quick, easy swap for you.
What Wolves was doing then is just a perfect textbook of kind of what we're looking for in these exercises. A rep range doesn't make something a hypertrophy exercise. Anywhere between 5 and 30 reps is going to be hypertrophy if taken to the right proximity of failure. What you saw there with Warbs then, it started to get hard and he didn't shit himself and chuck him down. He kept pushing it out, and that's what's going to cause the hypertrophy. Just because it's a 12 reps doesn't mean it's going to help you build muscle. It's got to be taking it right to the wire. So 2 to 3 reps in reserve, if that really, is what's going to really drive that sort of hypertrophy stimulus.
Got a really good study just to back up what you said, Gass. They did like a study on like a bunch of trainers who were intermediate to advanced. That doesn't mean super strong, it just means in their training age. So like train for 2 to 3 years onwards regular. And they compared their perception of failure compared to somebody who hasn't trained. Somebody who hasn't trained, they reckon was still within 3 to 5 reps from failure when they thought they were 1 or 2, whereas an experienced trainer was actually closer to 1 or 2 reps from failure when they thought they were 1 or 2 reps. So when you see to someone go to 2 reps from failure, without trying to sound patronising, if you're new, you can probably squeeze out another couple. Just catch a breath, rest 5 seconds, and then go again, and you will squeeze out another couple. But I think some people really underestimate failure, and that's on your point. Make sure that for a couple of times in a session we get there, and just make sure that you push yourself to do that.
For sure.
I'm tagging you in a story, yeah? I was about to say, which profile would you rather tagged in, Erin? Erin Hope or Erin Hope content? We can keep this on the YouTube as well. Erin Hope. Right, This has got nothing to do with performance, but we just like to fill the sleeves. Obviously, we've got to give the people what we want. This is an arm finisher. Gassy's gone for a filthy preacher curl. This is a really nice setup on a cable. I love a cable because it feels like the tension is always on with a cable. Sometimes with a dumbbell, when you drop it at the bottom, it feels like that tension's gone. With the cable, it feels like there's constant tension all the way throughout the top and the bottom of the movement. So we've gone 8, 10, 15. So we'll drop that weight as we go through the 3 sets. We're going to superset this with just a tricep extension, just rope pull down like that. So go tricep, bicep, same rep scheme on triceps as well, just 3 sets of each for some arm finisher to finish off our upper body session.
You're about to see a work of art, 1 paper cut, and it's all over for him.
1 paper cut.
Get a close up on those veins. Go get a yeah.
Feeling swole. That's the session done. No, I'm joking. That's the session done. It's lovely because we've done our power and our strength at the start of the session. We've gone to some mid-rep range stuff, then we've finished off with some guns. You don't have to train strength in isolation if you're in a strength block, or you don't have to train volume in isolation if you're in like a muscle gain block. You can train them all concurrently, but the focus just shifts. So obviously the focus here is strength and power, but you can still finish off some fun stuff to finish. So yeah, awesome session, Gass. That's us done. Not sure if there's anything I want to add to that, but we're going to be back in on this now. Drop your comments in the comment section. Let us know what you want to see as well. But that's us done for today's strength and hypertrophy. Cheers, Gass.